Okay, my name is Leah.
Hi, Leah. How was the weekend for you?
Oh, it's been really brilliant. I mean, from Saturday morning when we started doing the running clinics, I did one with one of the gurus, which is really great. And yeah, it was just got a lot of information, and they gave you a few tips, on how to improve your technique. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. And the presentations in the evening were really informative. I would have liked to hear a bit more from some of the other guys, but I guess there just wasn't enough time. But yeah, I really loved it, and I would like to come back next year.
What's your background in barefoot running and minimalist shoes?
I probably started about maybe 1.5 years ago, where I did a fitness holiday in Kenya with a company called Wild Fitness, and they gave you some instruction on barefoot running, and then I tried to keep it up when I came back to London. So yeah, I just been trying to slowly get into it and go barefoot or in minimalist shoes in London parks now and again.
So which parks do you run in London?
Oh, I'm quite lucky. I live just around 3 different parks actually. So I sometimes go to Hampstead Heath, which is more trail running, which is nice. And then I have Regent's Park and Primrose Hill as well, which is more sort of manicured park, which is also very nice. So yeah, I'm really lucky to have so much green close to where I live.
Do you see barefoot runners in London?
Some, but not that many to be honest. But you are starting to see more and more people wear their sort of 5-finger shoes. But when I go around in the parks, it's very few. I see some wearing them in my gym now. But yeah, you get the usual sort of laughs and pointing fingers at your feet when you wear the 5-finger shoes. So yeah, still a laughing stock.
Have you been to the Vivo Barefoot store in London?
I've been to the one here in New York actually. There is one in London as well that I went to once, close to my office, close to Liverpool Street. So yeah, I went to that once.
Great. I've heard it's really nice. Like
and
minimalist.
Yeah. And yeah, the people who work there, they're quite knowledgeable about the shoes they're selling. So.
Yeah, I guess they've gone through the Lee Saxby training, 5-day training.
Yeah.
That's what I've heard.
Probably they all need to sort of be able to advise clients coming to the store.
Yeah, sure. So are you planning to come back next year?
I'd definitely love to, because it's just so interesting, especially I think the Saturday evening part of the course, where you get to hear all the different presentations from the kudos. I think that's sort of the most interesting part of the whole event, and generally just to network with people who like doing the same thing. So yeah, I'll definitely do my best to come back.
Great. All right. So Rachel, how was this weekend for you at the New York City Barefoot Run?
It was awesome. It was a lot of fun. Got a great venue, and the weekend was great. So it was just cool to have everyone come together who are trying to educate more people about barefoot and the form and running differently. So.
What's your relationship to barefoot running? Like, how long have you been running, and sort of how did you find out about it?
Probably for a year. Just every now and then, just for fun. It's kind of been the way that I've enjoyed running barefoot, or just running in general. I wasn't a big runner, and this was something that I kind of picked up. I work for Merrill, so we have a barefoot shoe, so that's kind of how I first heard about it and got into it, and it's just been a nice way for me to enjoy running finally.
So, what's your role with Merrill?
I do marketing. So I'm on our consumer marketing team with our PR agency, and have done some cool events and projects for them.
Awesome, yeah. Including this weekend.
Including this weekend, yeah.
And so you're wearing a tutu.
Yes.
And you're wearing Merrill shoes.
Yes.
I hope. So tell me about your tutu.
So this tutu, Emily, who does our PR, has found out that there's this charitable donation. So people purchase a tutu and wear it when they just run for general or in races, and part of that money goes to a nonprofit, which I'm not not sure if I know the name.
I can't remember the name right now either, and it's funny because I have the same tutu, and I should know what they benefit and what their name is, et cetera, et cetera. I'll probably post that, but in fact, I'll be interviewing the women from the company sometime soon.
From now on, I will always be wearing a tutu at a race.
That's great.
It's great. It's a lot of fun.
So will Meryl be here next year?
I hope so, yes.
Yeah.
As of right now, definitely.
Therefore, you will be here next year.
Exactly, with my tutu.
Right on.
So you have to bring yours.
Yes, great. Well, what is your name?
Lenny Muller.
So, what have you learned this weekend at the New York Barefoot Run?
I actually was lucky enough to have a one-on-one coaching session with Lee Saxby, so I learned that everything I've been doing for the past 2 years is wrong.
That's always fun.
Yes. So this run will probably end up being more challenging than I thought it was, because I have to learn to put more pressure on my big toe, which is evolutionary designed to take the pressure rather than my second toe, and run with a consistent small cadence as if you were pedaling a unicycle with a small wheel. So I did the first lap like that because I was running with Lee, who would tap me on the shoulder every time I did wrong.
That's nice.
And the second lap I did unshod by myself, just trying to keep focus, being mindful of my form.
Great. How awesome to have Lee, your personal coach, for a half hour, and then for him to be running with you.
I didn't plan that. He actually came up behind me, and I just kept pace with him once he was there.
Nice. So, did you go to the workshops last night?
Yes and no.
Or the talks?
I didn't stay for the talks. I did the coaching session, then I walked around Brooklyn for 4 hours, and then I went to the reception, but didn't stay for the talks because it is a very early morning for us, especially I drove a read, so I didn't stay for the talks. No.
So do you prefer, I see you have 5 fingers on, do you prefer 5 fingers when you're just walking around?
Yes, I do actually wear them to work. I work in a university, so I can get away with wearing them to work. But I saw some really interesting Vivo Barefoot sandals. So I'm not brand loyal right now.
The new sandals that kind of have the middle thing? Yeah. Those are cool.
Because that way I can still practice putting that big toe down.
Yes.
And have the protection, because the ground's a little rough.
So where do you run when you're running? Tell me about like a typical run for you.
Typical run, my base run is a 5K. It's the Flushing Bay Promenade. It's outside the LaGuardia Airport. It's just down and back, asphalt, normal New York run. You get glass, you get everything.
Yeah, so you get to practice.
Yes.
That's great. So what inspired you to go barefoot?
I had dealings with plantar fasciitis, and I also have damaged my knee in a slip and fall, and I've got permanent damage to ACL and MCL. So
Permanent damage. And so how do you handle that when you're running?
I
mean, is it painful? Oh, you wear a brace,
If I ever feel pain, I stop whatever I'm doing. You just have to be mindful of it.
Right. Are you going to be here next year?
Probably.
Yay. Thank you so much.